Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Long way from home.
After a long and perilous escape from the plantation in Maryland, I finally arrived at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was over the Underground Railroad. That's how it came to be. And it was morning time. And I remember holding up my hands. I wanted to see if I was the same person now that I was free. There was this glory and brightness over everything and everybody. And the sun, like gold, come through the trees and was all over the fields. And oh, I thought, thank you, Jesus. I thought I was in heaven. I couldn't rest. I was free, but I couldn't rest. I had left so many suffering souls back. And I had to go back. I had to do what I could, even though it was a dangerous, extremely dangerous activity. You know, they had slave traders and slave agents and spies and dogs and the fugitive law and all of that. They were hell-bent on keeping my folks in bondage. And then I had my own personal trials and tribulations. When I worked in the fields, one day the overseer hit me in the back of my head, and I never recovered. And I would have dizzy spells and blackouts, and without any warning, just fall out and collapse anywhere, anytime. But I weren't going to let that keep me from doing what I knowed I had to do, go back and free my people. I made 19 trips back south and brought back over 300 of those suffering souls. The worst and the most dangerous of those missions happened to be when I went back to get my poor, aged parents. And it was through the woods and caves and dogs and everything, and we made it, and they died many years later. They lived a good life afterwards. Now, I had to use every trick and disguise possible to keep from getting caught. Sometimes I dressed like a man, sometimes like a decrepit old woman. And at one point, when the slave masters learned about my activities, they put out a reward, $60,000. We had these notices all posted north and south, my picture on there. I never learned to read and write, but they told me what was on that notice, and it said, Harriet Tubman, alias Moses, alias the General, stealer of slaves, in league with Alcott, John Brown, Emerson, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Beecher Stowe, Elijah Henson, John Mason, armed and dangerous, wanted, dead or alive. They said I was dangerous. Maybe it was because I carried a pistol with me. I always had a pistol in my pocket. But it was mainly to discourage cowards on those missions. Couldn't stand for no cowards. We had a mission. Sometimes I'd hear a murbling, "Oh, we'll never make it. We'll never make it." That's when I pulled my pistol. "Hush that now," I told them. "Dead folks don't jaybird talk. You just keep on walking now or die." Well, there were so many times when I almost got caught. One was on the train going back south, and I looked out the window, and there were these two agents getting on the train. There was a newspaper on the seat by me. I grabbed the newspaper. I know they didn't. They know that I couldn't read. That Harriet Tubman couldn't read and write. So I held this paper up like I was reading. And when those agents got off the train, "Children, I want you to know, I was holding that paper upside down." I guess they couldn't read either. Well, they never cashed in on that reward. My train never left the tracks. I never lost a passenger.